Have you ever seen two companies merge, two giants in their field, and expected something incredible to happen? You expect 1 + 1 to equal 3, or even 10, but so often, what we see is chaos. We see friction. We see two cultures, two sets of processes, two ways of doing things, clashing like tectonic plates. The promise of synergy, the very reason for the merger, gets lost in translation. The deal closes, the press releases go out, but inside, the real work stalls. People spend months, sometimes years, just trying to understand each other. They argue over definitions. What do you mean by customer onboarding? What does procure to pay look like here? It's a Tower of Babel, built right inside the new corporate headquarters. This isn't a people problem, it's a systems problem. It's a failure to establish a common language, a shared understanding of how value is actually created and delivered. Without this foundation, every conversation is a negotiation, every decision is a compromise bogged down by misunderstanding, and every integration effort feels like forcing a square peg into a round hole. The energy that should be focused on growth, on innovation, on serving the customer better, is instead wasted on internal friction. The vision that inspired the merger begins to feel like a distant dream, and the leaders who championed it are left wondering, why is this so hard? But what if there was a way to bypass this? What if there was a tool, a kind of Rosetta Stone for business, that could translate these disparate corporate languages into a single, coherent whole? A framework that allows everyone, from the C-suite to the front lines, to see the entire organization not as a collection of silos and departments, but as a unified system of processes, all working toward a common cause. This isn't a hypothetical. This tool exists. It's called the Process Classification Framework, or PCF, and it provides the fundamental why and how that can turn the chaos of a merger into a symphony of collaboration and accelerated value. When two organizations come together, they bring more than just their balance sheets and their customer lists. They bring their own unique dialects. Order to cash in Company A might mean something completely different than it does in Company B. One team's lead generation is another's demand creation. This isn't just semantics. These differences represent fundamentally different ways of thinking, operating, and measuring success. The initial post-merger meetings are often spent just trying to create a shared dictionary, a painful process where pride and politics get in the way of progress. Teams get defensive about their terminology because it's tied to their identity and their perceived value. This is where the Process Classification Framework provides its first and perhaps most profound gift: a neutral external standard. The PCF isn't Company A's way or Company B's way. It's a globally recognized, industry-vetted vocabulary for every process that makes a business run, from developing a vision and strategy all the way to managing customer service. It provides a common ground, a third point of reference that allows both sides to step away from their internal jargon and speak the same language. It's no longer about whose definition is right, but about aligning both organizations' activities to a universal, proven model. Imagine the power of this. Instead of months wasted in circular arguments, the integration teams can immediately get to work. They can map their existing processes to this common framework and see, clearly and without bias, where they overlap, where they differ, and where the gaps are. The PCF depersonalizes the conversation. It shifts the focus from defending past practices to building a better future, together. It's the foundational step that makes all subsequent integration efforts not just faster, but possible. It establishes the trust and clarity needed to begin the real work of building a single, unified entity. Once you have a common language, you can start drawing a map. A merger without a clear, shared blueprint is like trying to build a house with two different sets of architectural plans. The finance team is building a colonial, while the operations team is building a modernist cube. The result is a dysfunctional mess that serves no one. The success of an integration hinges on creating a single, unified vision for how the new combined company will operate. Not just what it will do, but precisely how it will do it, from end to end. This is the playbook that guides every team and every function. The PCF provides this blueprint. It's not just a list of terms, it's a hierarchical, structured model of the entire enterprise. It lays out the 13 major operating and management processes, and then breaks them down, level by level, into granular detail. This structure allows leaders to create a comprehensive, top-to-bottom integration plan. You can look at a high-level process like develop and manage products and services, and then drill down into the specific activities like generate and screen new ideas, or manage product lifecycle. It provides a complete map of the business terrain. With this shared map, the integration becomes a guided expedition, not a blind wander through the wilderness. Leaders can sit down with this blueprint and make conscious strategic decisions. For Process 4.2.1, we will adopt Company A's approach. For Process 7.3.3, we will use Company B's superior system. And for this entire process group, neither of our current methods is best in class, so we will design a new, optimized process inspired by the PCF model. This structured approach ensures that no stone is left unturned, and that every decision aligns with the overall strategic goals of the merger, creating a single, coherent playbook for the new organization. The due diligence phase of a merger is often a frantic race against time. Teams scramble to uncover financial liabilities, legal exposures, and market risks. But one of the biggest and most frequently overlooked areas of risk lies in the processes themselves. How mature is the target company's supply chain? How efficient is their financial closing process? Are there hidden weaknesses in their IT service management that could cripple the combined entity? Answering these questions without a systematic framework is like searching for a needle in a haystack. You don't even know what you should be looking for. The PCF transforms this search into a systematic, disciplined audit. It acts as the ultimate checklist, providing a comprehensive taxonomy of every functional area that needs to be assessed. Instead of asking vague questions like, is their operations department any good? You can now ask specific, targeted questions based on the PCF. Let's assess the maturity of Process 6.4, produce, manufacture, deliver product. And within that, let's look at 6.4.3, execute production scheduling. This level of granularity is a game changer. It forces a rigorous, methodical evaluation of the target company's capabilities. This process doesn't just make due diligence more thorough, it makes it radically faster. The framework provides the structure for the data request lists and the interview questions. It allows you to systematically compare the target's processes against a benchmark, exposing maturity gaps, hidden redundancies, and operational risks before the deal is even signed. You can identify the ticking time bombs, the fragile, undocumented, or hero-dependent processes that could derail the integration later. This foresight is invaluable. It allows leaders to price the deal more accurately, plan the integration more intelligently, and walk into the merger with their eyes wide open. Great leaders know that strategy is not just about deciding what to do, but also about knowing how you'll do it. A strategy without the capabilities to execute it is just a wish. In a merger, you suddenly have two sets of capabilities, two sets of tools, two sets of expertise. The critical question becomes, which ones do we keep? Which ones do we combine? Which ones do we divest? Making these decisions based on gut feel or office politics leads to disaster. You need a rational, objective way to connect your strategic goals to the underlying processes that deliver them. The PCF acts as the essential bridge between the what of strategy and the how of process. It allows leaders to translate high-level strategic imperatives into concrete operational capabilities. For example, if a key strategic driver for the merger is to become the industry leader in customer experience, you can use the PCF to identify all the processes that impact the customer, from market and sell to deliver service to manage customer inquiries. You can then map both companies' capabilities against this framework to see who does what better. This mapping exercise is where true transformation begins. It visualizes the strengths and weaknesses of the combined entity. You might discover that Company A has a world-class process for developing sales strategy, while Company B excels at managing customer service requests. The PCF allows you to have a data-driven conversation about which capabilities to adopt, which to retire, and which to invest in. It enables leaders to architect the new organization with intention, deliberately choosing the best combination of processes to build a competitive advantage and execute the merger's strategic vision. The press conference is over, the deal is done. But how do you know if the integration is actually working? How do you know if you are realizing the synergies you promised to your shareholders? Too often, success is measured with vague feelings or lagging financial indicators that only tell you the story after it's too late to change the ending. To manage a successful integration, you need to measure it. You need leading indicators, operational KPIs, that tell you, in real time, whether the new processes are healthier and more efficient than the old ones. The beauty of the PCF is that it comes with a built-in measurement system. APQC, the creators of the framework, maintain the world's largest database of process performance benchmarks. For nearly every process in the PCF, there are standard key performance indicators and benchmarks from thousands of companies. This allows you to create a clear, objective baseline before the merger even begins. You can measure the performance of Company A's procure-to-pay cycle and Company B's, and compare both to the median and top quartile performance in your industry. This gives you a powerful tool for post-merger management. You have a starting line. As you implement the new integrated processes, you can track their performance against that baseline and against industry benchmarks. Is the cycle time to resolve customer issues going down? Is the cost of financial reporting per $1,000 revenue decreasing? The PCF provides the dashboard. It turns the abstract goal of synergy into a set of concrete, measurable targets. It allows leaders to prove the value of the integration and to identify areas that need more attention, ensuring the merger delivers on its promise. Ultimately, the greatest barrier to a successful merger isn't technology or finance, it's culture. It's the us versus them mentality. It's the turf wars that erupt when two tribes are forced to become one. People cling to their old ways of working not just because they are familiar, but because they are part of their identity. This is how we've always done it is a statement of belonging. Asking someone to give up their process can feel like asking them to betray their team. These emotional undercurrents can sabotage even the most well-planned integration. The PCF helps to diffuse these tensions by providing a neutral, external authority. When discussions are framed around the PCF, it's no longer about my way versus your way. It becomes a collaborative exercise in aligning to a best practice standard. The framework is the objective third party in the room. It depersonalizes decisions. The conversation shifts from why your process is bad to how can we both adapt to create a process that is better than what either of us had before, using this model as our guide. It gives people a common objective to work toward. This shared language and shared goal are the building blocks of a new, unified culture. When teams from both sides of the merger work together, using the PCF as their common reference point to design new ways of working, they are not just integrating processes. They are building relationships. They are creating shared experiences and shared successes. They start to see themselves not as members of Company A or Company B, but as members of a new, single team with a common purpose. The PCF provides the rational framework that allows the emotional work of cultural integration to happen. In the end, a merger or acquisition isn't just a financial transaction. It's the start of a journey to build something new. The challenge and the opportunity is to transform two separate organizations, each with its own language, its own map, and its own culture, into one cohesive, high-performing entity. As we've seen, this is where most integrations falter, not for lack of vision, but for lack of a common foundation. They get lost in translation, bogged down in arguments over definitions and defending territory, wasting precious time and energy that should be focused on creating value. The APQC Process Classification Framework provides that foundation. It acts as the Rosetta Stone, translating disparate corporate dialects into a single standard language that everyone can understand. It offers a shared blueprint, allowing leaders to architect the new organization with intention and clarity. By providing a systematic checklist, it surfaces risks and redundancies early, turning due diligence into a strategic advantage. It creates a clear and measurable path to success, ensuring that the promised synergies are not just a hope, but a trackable outcome. It's the tool that allows you to start with why the merger makes sense, and then provides the how to make it a reality. With a framework like the PCF, large corporations can sidestep the months and years often wasted on internal friction. They can accelerate the realization of value, reduce the fragility that plagues so many post-merger organizations, and build a truly integrated company that is stronger than the sum of its parts. It's about more than just combining two businesses. It's about creating a common cause, a shared way of working, and a unified culture capable of achieving the vision that brought them together in the first place.